It's happening. XRP just broke free from the chains of resistance, exploded over 70%, and is now trading at levels we haven't seen since 2018. But what's fueling this massive rally? Is it the sudden ETF approval, the new RLUSD stablecoin dominating the market? Or maybe it's the $1,000 price target floating around from top analysts, some even claiming XRP could retire your entire bloodline. Whether you're a longtime XRP holder or a new investor hearing the buzz for the first time, something massive is unfolding right now. Experts are shouting, buy and don't look back. The charts say a mega bullish wave is forming, and the sentiment across the community is reaching levels not seen since Bitcoin's earliest moon runs. Today, we break it all down. The shocking new XRP price predictions. This isn't just hype anymore. One of the most respected XRP technical analysts in the space, Barik, is now doubling down on what many called impossible just months ago. XRP is not only heading toward $100, but if this wave continues, we're looking at a clear trajectory toward $1,000 per coin. Sound outrageous? Here's the breakdown. Barik points to a long-form, multi-year logarithmic trend line that XRP just broke above, something it's failed to do since the 2018 crash. According to him, XRP's recent 70% breakout isn't random. It's part of what he calls the mega bullish wave, a pattern that only appears before parabolic price action. And here's the kicker. If XRP stays above $1.33 for 3 consecutive weekly closes, Barik says, there will be nothing stopping it from blasting past $100. That $100 target isn't based on dreams. It's built on liquidity zones, Fibonacci extensions, and historical volume blocks. And when those align, altcoins don't just climb, they launch. But $1,000, Barik admits, it won't happen overnight. But if Ripple's ecosystem expansion continues, especially with XRP integrating deeper into real-world finance, CBDCs, and tokenized assets, then $1,000 per XRP becomes less of a fantasy and more of a milestone. And here's something even crazier. Some early XRP whales, wallets that have been dormant for years, are suddenly waking up and accumulating again. These are the same addresses that bought XRP at under a penny back in 2014. They're not panic selling, they're repositioning. Could they know something we don't? Now this next one is bold, borderline outrageous, but it's making waves in the XRP community, and for good reason. A prominent XRP evangelist recently said, XRP will retire your bloodline, not just you, your kids, your grandkids, and maybe even their kids too. At first, it sounds like another over-the-top Moonboy quote, until you break down why he believes it. Let's unpack it. First, XRP's utility is beyond speculation. Unlike meme coins or short-term pump tokens, XRP is building infrastructure. We're talking cross-border payments, tokenized real estate, CBDC rails, and liquidity hubs for entire governments. That's not speculation, that's a monetary backbone. The expert argues that if XRP continues embedding itself into the future of digital finance, owning just a few thousand XRP today could mean generational wealth tomorrow, not because of hype, but because of positioning. Second, the supply is scarce and burns are increasing. Here's where it gets wild. In recent weeks, XRP token burns surged by over 100%, and that's just the beginning. With Ripple's expanding ecosystem, more and more XRP is being used, locked, or burned to power transactions. Combine that with institutional demand and you're staring down a classic case of supply shock. He adds, you don't need 1 million XRP, you just need to hold enough before everyone else realizes what it's for. And get this, he breaks it down into numbers. If XRP reaches even $500 within the next few years, not a crazy idea if Egrag is right, holding just 2,000 XRP today, that's roughly $1,000 at current prices, could give you $1,000. Now factor in staking, lending, real estate tokenization, and other DeFi layers coming to the XRPL. That money doesn't just sit, it grows. Hence, retire your bloodline. This one caught everyone off guard. RLUSD, Ripple's new stablecoin, just claimed the throne. Yup, the #1 spot, above USDT, above USDC. And it's not just hype, it's history in the making. Let's break it down. What is RLUSD? RLUSD stands for Real Liquidity USD, Ripple's official stablecoin backed 1-1 by real US dollar assets, cash treasury bills, liquid short-term equivalence minks. It's fully transparent and verifiable. But more than that, it's natively issued on the XRP ledger. That means blazing fast settlement, dirt cheap fees, and smart contract compatibility across XRPL's expanding DeFi layer. And here's what's crazy. While other stablecoins were busy dealing with regulatory crackdowns, bank failures, and depegging scandals, Ripple quietly built a stablecoin that checks all the boxes. And now, big money noticed why RLUSD is winning and fast. The XRP army has been watching closely, and they've got reason to celebrate. Since launch, over 20 major exchanges including Bitstamp, Uphold, Gate.io, and Bybit listed RLUSD. Banks and remittance corridors across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East began using RLUSD for settlement testing. DeFi protocols like Evernote and Anodos started integrating RLUSD liquidity pools. CBDC sandbox environments are testing RLUSD as an intermediate bridge layer. This isn't a test run. This is Ripple executing a full circle plan. XRP for value transport and RLUSD for stable pricing and liquidity. But here's what most people are missing. This isn't just about a new stablecoin. It's about Ripple becoming a digital central bank for the new Internet of Value. Think about it. RippleNet as the messaging system, XRP as the bridge asset, RLUSD as the stable settlement layer, hooks plus smart contracts bringing programmable finance, and now tokenized real-world assets, NFTs, and institutional lending. This is DeFi 2.0, built on enterprise rails, not hype coins. So when analysts say RLUSD flipping USDT or USDC is huge, they're underselling it. This is Ripple going head-to-head with the Fed and winning. If you've been sleeping on XRP's charts, wake up now, because Agrag Crypto, one of the most respected XRP technical analysts, just dropped a bombshell. We are staring at a mega bullish wave, and 99% will miss it again. So what exactly is Agrag seeing? A chart pattern that's only shown up twice before. Agrag's analysis is based on something called the white channel breakout. It's a rare structure that, according to his past calls, preceded two of XRP's biggest runs, the 2017 parabolic move to 384 cents, the 2021 breakout to $1.96. Now, that same pattern is back, but this time it's larger, it's cleaner, and it's sitting right above long-term resistance that's been in place since 2018. Fibonacci targets are screaming parabola. Using Fibonacci extensions, Agrag placed his wave targets at Wave 1, $1.20s, Wave 2, $3.50, Wave 3, $5.89. Final wave, 27 to 33, let that sink in. Let that sink in. This isn't hopium. This is math-based projection backed by historical price symmetry. Agrag says we're currently forming the base of Wave 1, and once XRP clears $1.20 with volume confirmation, it could trigger an automatic rush into Wave 2. And remember, this all aligns with the macro fundamentals we discussed earlier. ETF momentum, RLUSD dominance, Ripple's regulatory victories, and XRP burn spikes. Here's what makes this wave different. Unlike 2017 or 2021, this time XRP's not alone. It's part of a much bigger move. Ethereum is gaining institutional traction. Bitcoin is preparing for post-halving acceleration. US regulatory clarity is finally coming into focus. And Ripple now has bank-grade infrastructure tied to the XRP ledger. This means the next wave, it could be institutional fueled. We're talking family offices, pension funds, cross-border banks, and tokenized real-world assets all riding the same wave. And here's Agrag's final warning. This isn't a pump. It's the beginning of XRP's final transformation into a global settlement standard. All right, here's where things get real. In the past few weeks, XRP has done what many thought impossible. It's smashed through a major multi-year resistance zone that's held it down since the 2021 bull run. And it didn't just break it. It exploded through it with over 70% gains in a matter of days. So what does that mean? Let's break it down. The resistance wall that XRP just obliterated. For years, XRP has faced a brutal ceiling around the 70 to 85 range. That range acted like a gravitational field, pulling price back down every time it tried to fly. But then something shifted. Institutional buying pressure surged. Exchange volume spiked 3x in 48 hours. Wallet activity from whales saw a sharp uptick. RLUSD liquidity began flowing through XRP trading pairs, and bullish signals lit up across the RSI, MACD, and Bollinger Bands. Result? Boom. Breakout. And this wasn't just a candlewick tease. XRP closed above resistance with multiple confirmations over the following days. Parabolic patterns are forming. Fast technical analysts are now pointing out that XRP's chart is mirroring early-stage parabolic structures from previous cycles. Here's what they're seeing. A cup and handle forming on the daily chart, a confirmed ascending triangle breakout, and a potential bull flag continuation pattern on the weekly Saturn. Every one of those signals historically leads to massive continuation moves, especially when combined with high volume, low exchange reserves, and rising RSI without divergence. Translation? XRP is not just bullish, it's building launch velocity. Liquidity is funneling toward XRP. Another under-the-radar sign? Exchanges are reporting XRP liquidity surges, while Bitcoin and ETH liquidity remains flat or even declining. Why is that important? Because parabolic moves need fuel, and right now that fuel is flooding into XRP. Market makers are reallocating, whales are accumulating, retail is waking up, and Ripple's own on-chain transaction activity is ramping up. This is classic pre-parabola behavior. We saw the exact same pattern right before Solana exploded from $3 to $250, right before Doge pumped 10x in weeks, and right before XRP's last 384 cents all-time high. Now the stars are aligning again. Let's zoom out. Analysts are projecting 100+ technicals show breakout momentum. Whale activity is surging. RLUSD is live and ranked #1. Ripple's banking network is expanding rapidly. XRP burns are accelerating. And the US financial system is starting to nod in Ripple's direction. So the question isn't, will XRP go up? The real question is, will you be ready when it does? Because XRP doesn't just aim to pump. It aims to replace the rails the old system runs on. And when that flip happens, the price won't just rise, it will be revalued entirely. Like this video if you're part of the XRP army, subscribe for daily crypto insights, and tell us in the comments, where do you see XRP in the next 6 months? Stay smart, stay early, stay ready. This is the XRP era.